Are you still struggling making high-protein vegan meals? Don't worry, you're in the right place. My name is Lalo, a New York-based private chef, and today I'm going to show you how to make amazing and unique and special high-protein vegan meals. Why? Today is your lucky day because today I'm making high-protein vegan meals for my clients, and I decided to make these videos to show you what are other possibilities that maybe you haven't thought about it, or show you some techniques so you're gonna be like, oh, that's a great idea, so you never run out of ideas. It's gonna be a series of 7 days, and today I'm going to make a celery root dish with tofu and some truffles. Very simple, delicious, with more than 50 grams of protein. Let's do it, baby. Let's start with ingredients. We have shallots, we have thyme leaves, celery chopped, we have chives to finish, we have truffles. These are truffles that are preserved in brine. Brine is water with salt. We have the main ingredient, that is the celery root. This is gonna give creaminess. This is for the sauce. As you can see, I chop the ingredients that I chop are irregular because this is going to be blended, so it doesn't really matter. And then we have the actual cubes are going to add texture into the dish of the same celery root. And lastly, we have our protein, that is tofu, firm tofu. Remember, firm tofu has more protein than not firm tofu, like soft tofu. So just make sure you use firm tofu because the ratio of water is less, and some sliced shallot. We're going to start with our sauce first so we can have time to actually do the tofu afterwards while we're preparing this, and our prep time is less. So we start with a little bit of olive oil. Since this is we're counting the calories, I'm just adding very little oil. It's 1 tablespoon because 1 tablespoon is 120 calories. So we're going to start by adding our celery root. We're going to add all of it, and what we want is a little bit of color in it. So we're gonna hold the shallots, we're gonna hold the thyme and the truffles until the celery has a little bit of color, so we can potentialize that flavor, you know, that caramelization from it. And it adds a little bit more structure and kind of like body into our sauce, more flavor, more than anything else. So this is gonna take about 5 minutes to 8 minutes. You can omit this step and add all the other ingredients and basically saute everything, and then just add a little bit of liquid, let it cook, and then blend. But what I'm going to do is just add a lot of flavor with that caramelization. So we're going to cover and then come back. Okay guys, it's been 6 minutes, and look, the reason we cover it is so we cook it at the same time, because the steam is going to stay on the pot. So that's one of the reasons. It hasn't caramelized a lot because the water hasn't evaporated. So now we're gonna let it there be for about 3 extra minutes, and then after that we're gonna add the rest of the ingredients. Remember, always check on it. Not only just, don't take my time for granted, because my stove might be more potent than yours or less, you know, or the flame is less or things like that. So even though this is in medium flame, always check your things when you are cooking. Don't just leave them like, oh, he said 3 minutes, I'm gonna set a time. No, always keep an eye on your food. Remember, key. Perfect. So we start seeing a little bit of browning right here. You can tell that you see that beautiful caramel color. This is what we want. That is flavor right there. So at this point, what we're gonna do is we're gonna add our shallots, all of them, and probably reduce the flame a little bit. We don't want to burn them. We don't want them to caramelize. We just want to mix them here, add all this flavor, so much yumminess. We're going to add also here the thyme. Why? Because when we add the thyme here with the oil, what we're going to do is we're going to infuse the oil or the fat with that flavor. So we're going to mix it, and then we're going to cook it for about 1 to 2 minutes, just until the shallot, it's a little bit sauté, and cooked, so it's not like raw. So we just move. Remember, it's very, very small, so this helps with the time, but also be careful because it can burn faster, and we don't want to burn it. We don't want those flavors. We want to keep the integrity of the sauce, because this is what it makes the sauce, smooth, nice, and it's gonna give it that subtle flavor without having like burned notes in there. It's been 1 more minute, and look at this. Look at this beauty. We have beautiful shallots time. Everything is gorgeous. Now it's time to add this gorgeousness. So we're adding the truffles with the liquid that comes with the truffles. It has salt, that's why we haven't added any salt. This liquid, because they're preserving salt. The same, we're going to infuse them here. We want them to, release all that beautiful flavor. Oh my goodness, it smells so, so good. Look, oh my God. Why I didn't save truffles to put in the top? Because they're going to add more flavor when they are blended into the sauce than if I just put some on the top. Really, on top, really they don't taste like much, to be honest. So here at this point, we're going to add a little bit of water. We're adding water, and then we cover salt, just a little bit to start seasoning. Boom, mix, and cover. And we're gonna cook for 10 minutes until the celery root is cooked, and then we're gonna blend it. In the meantime, while our celery root is cooking, we're gonna start cooking our tofu. So we have our olive oil. I'm like, what is it? Olive oil. We're gonna add our tofu carefully. We don't want it to splash in our hands or in our body. Always taking care of our body, of course. We're gonna stir around a little bit, and then we're gonna add the shallots. Boom, at the same time, some sliced shallots. This is to add texture, but also to make it more interesting. The shallots might caramelize a little bit here, and that's gonna add sweetness into the dish as well. So we're just gonna basically leave it here. We're also going to cover it so our tofu doesn't get dry, even though we're gonna add a sauce. But we don't want dry tofu because sometimes it tends to be, this is not like fried tofu. So we want some color and everything, but we still want nice texture with it. So season really well. Remember, tofu doesn't have any salt. If you don't season it properly, then the tofu is gonna taste like nothing. So just leave it there. Mix it. We're already seasoned a little bit. We're gonna add a pinch of the thyme that is left. But beautiful. We're gonna leave it there to sear while we cover it. And then cook for 5 minutes or 3 to 5 minutes on like medium-high flame. Here on the other side is being already 12 minutes. It was a little bit longer than I expected, but that's why you keep checking. So with a tester, I like to use a cake tester, because with this, I just go through. If it goes through, that means it's done. But always taste, I'm gonna taste a little bit, you see? And try to taste the part that is thicker. This is done. It's like very, very, very soft. So we're gonna blend this, and this is gonna be our sauce. We're gonna season, and voila, look at this. All the aroma, smell it. It's so good. Okay, it's been 3 minutes, and look at this. We have some color on the tofu. The shallots are also caramelizing, not all around, but we can stir. Mix it around and give it 1 more minute, or just leave it like that. This is a good color. After we have this, we're gonna take it out. We're gonna add our celery root, and we're gonna allow it to cover with a little bit of water, just to caramelize. Make sure it's not cooked. It's not. It doesn't overcook. It doesn't get. My goodness. Okay, after we see this beautiful color, look at this. So now we're gonna take it out. You can leave it a little bit longer if you desire, but this I think is a good color. Have a little bit of caramelization all over. This is gonna be good for flavor more than anything, because the sauce, so not really for something else. Take it out, and we're gonna add celery root. We took out the tofu. Now with the remaining of the oil, we're gonna add our celery root there. Season, just a little bit of salt. Remember, this is the celery root to add texture into the dish. And then cover, medium-low flame, and then this is gonna take about the same, probably 10 minutes. Something else you can do with this is add this first and then the tofu, but you're not gonna get a lot of color on everything. Or you need to be very careful, keep stirring, moving things around. So that's what I'm doing separately. Okay, so now we're gonna blend the whole mix. I'm adding a little bit of water so it makes this sauce consistency, and we're gonna blend until it's smooth, about 1 minute, high speed. Okay guys, so now the celery root is ready. It's a little bit caramelized. Look, the texture is going in. Now we're going to add our tofu that we took out, all of it. All of it is seasoned with the shallots, a little bit of the thyme, and we're gonna pour in our truffle and celery root sauce. The reason it looks watery, or this recipe with these amounts of fat, is gonna make it watery. What do you need to do to make it creamier? Okay, here is the tip. You need to add more oil into the sauce when you are cooking the celery root, or you can add some delicious cashews. That's what is gonna make it creamier. This is more like watery wise. And also remember that the celery root does thicken a lot. So you're gonna need a lot of water to blend. In this I use 3 cups for this amount. But look, still the flavor is going to be magnificent, and you have the necessary calories for this dish. Now we're just going to cook it a little bit just to integrate the sauce with the tofu, remove everything that we have here in the pan, everything that got stuck from the celery root, all that flavor. We're going to taste it. So let's taste it. My goodness, this is so good. You're gonna love it. We're gonna add a little more salt, just a few pinches. Just remember, when you add water, you're gonna need a little bit more salt. So always taste it. We're going to add some of the chives that we have, that we chop. Look at this. We're gonna add plenty of them because that's what is gonna give you a lot of flavor. Cook this or bring it to a boil, basically, only. Maybe it's gonna take like 2 minutes, and then we top it with more fresh chives, and that's it. All right guys, so let's play this deliciousness. Look at this beautiful tofu with the celeriac, or celery root as well called, and look at that. Boom. Here you can play with the amount of sauce that you want in the dish. You can put a little bit more, leave it like creamier, like saucier, or just like let it stick into the tofu, you know? That's also a way to do it. I'm just gonna put here all on the side of the plate, something like that, and then we're gonna finish with some fresh chives. This is gonna give it a lot of like flavor. You can add a lot of herbs here. Like, let's say if you put a little bit of dill, you can put a little bit of like fresh parsley. It's gonna be so delicious. Oh, look at these deliciousness. Boom. Something, if obviously you're not restricted calorically, you can add like some cashews here, toasted cashews, maybe even a little bit of pine nuts toasted. So really there are other options if this is not restricted, but like I said, this is for my client, and there are like just certain calories that I can use. That's why I use very minimal fats, and there is mostly tofu and with a little bit of the celery root as the star. All right guys, we finished day 1 from high protein vegan meals. Today we made a truffle dish with tofu and celery root. As you saw, it's creamy, it's delicious, it's unique, it's special. You know, you can use it for special dinners, or if you just want to meal prep and treat yourself, because you deserve it. this little jar that I bought of truffles was like 20 something $2. We sometimes spend more money on other things. So give yourself the pleasure, give yourself, and more if you're a foodie, you love food, my guy, you have to taste this dish. It's super good. Remember, like the video, subscribe, and also click in that notification bell so you always get notified, because if not, you're gonna miss the next one and you don't want to do that. So if you like it, leave your comments. What do you like? What was the biggest takeaway? Was it the amount of protein? Was it the flavor profile? Was it the truffles? What are your thoughts? Do you like this video? You don't like it? I'm not gonna get offended. Just put your comments down below. I answer everything myself, and see you in the next video. Thank you so much.